Shalawam. Welcome back to The Hidden Chosen. I am Hadassah Saiwan, and I am back with End Times Prophecy Watch. And what we're doing, we're watching the end time events rolling out, the events unfolding before our very eyes to let us know what time it is. We are at the end times, and prophecies, plural, are being fulfilled before our very eyes. Now, I started this series some time ago. I started recording this series some time ago, and since then, some things have been occurring here on the earth. We have the arrival of what he calls himself the Mahdi, claiming that he is the convergence of all religious leaders combined in one. Although he would say, I am not the anti-Messiah, when in fact he is. Anyone that claiming to be like a savior, to come and save the world, they are anti-Messiah. We only have one savior, and that is Yahawah HaMashiach. Anyone else is anti-Messiah. All right? And it's funny because the Heavenly Father had prompted me to do this particular study, because I've done this study, or I started to do the actual recordings for my other my other channel, right? I don't really post much there. That's just my backup channel, right? And then I looked back at this and I thought, okay, it's time for a refresher, because people need to keep at the forefront of their minds about these entities that are coming. And when one comes, when he is not ready to come yet, then you know that he is definitely not the anti-Messiah, because the empire needs to rise up first. Go to the scriptures, it's absolutely clear. The beast empire must rise up first, and then the anti-Messiah will be next. That's Revelation chapter 13. All right. So we had looked previously at the first beast. Then we looked at the second beast, which is the anti-Messiah. Then we went back and we looked at the 7 heads of the beast to realize that they are not mountains. They are mountain-like because they are huge. All right. And they are actually 7 systems. So now what we're going to look at the head that was wounded unto death. Okay, so this is part 5. We're going to look at the wounded head. So if it is not a mountain, because a mountain can't die, right? You got to, read and make it make sense. So it cannot be 7 literal mountains. It has to be something that can suffer loss of quote unquote life. Doesn't have to be a person, and it is not a person, because the 7 heads do not represent 7 people. All right? Okay. They represent the 7 systems that are running this world currently. Okay, so let's get started. And just to let you know, sometimes my slides stick. You will hear me continue on, but you don't see the slides move. It is the program, because, like I said, everything on this computer is old now, right? And I can't get updates. I have to get a new computer altogether, and that's not going to happen for another few months. So we're going to have to bear with it and bear with me. So my humble apologies. If you want to see the slides, just let me know and I will post them for you. Okay, so now we will address the head of the beast, which was wounded unto death, one of the 7 heads, also known as the 7 systems of the beast empire, number 7. All right, that's the technology-based empire that is rearing and ready to rise up any day now, but they cannot raise up this empire to rule the earth until the southern kingdom is out of here first. All right? Revelation chapter 13, verse 3. And I saw one of its heads as if it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. This is the beast empire, because it's going to be a world dominating empire. It's going to be worse than all the empires that have ever existed before it. All right? Verse 4. And they worship the dragon, who is Satan himself. He is the dragon, but he's also the Satan that is pushing forward these entities. And there are more than one Satans. All right? Which gave power unto the beast. So the Roman-like empire, beast empire, will have power, evil power. That's why the heads are going to have the names of blasphemy, because everything that they will do and institute on the earth will be against Elohim and his commandments. All right? Just look around us today and see if that has not already begun to happen. Look at what they're teaching children in schools. Look at what is happening even in churches today. Look on every level of life on this earth. You're seeing an infiltration of evil that we've never seen before. All right, because the Satans are here. There are only 4, well, actually there are 5, but only 4 are free. 1 is locked away, that's Azazel. But them and their fallen angels and the Nephilim spirits, which are the unclean spirits, the familiar spirits, they're all here working together, bringing about these entities, getting them ready. They have been getting them ready since the dawn of time. But now we're seeing a climax because the end is almost here. All right? So the beast empire will have power over people. But the only people that it will not have control over will be those of Elohim, the northern kingdom, because the southern kingdom is already gone, and those of the Gentiles who will come in with us. And they're the ones that will go underground, though some will cling to the northern kingdom to fight side by side with them. But this is not really their fight. All right? This is the time of martyrdom for the northern kingdom. So they must fight. And because of who they are, especially when now they are awakened to their true identity, they will rise up and they will fight, because that's the nature of our people. Has always been like that. Okay? They have always been like this. And they worship the beast, saying, now these are the people on the earth. These are the ones whose names are not written in the Lamb's Book of Life. These are the ones that will worship Allah. Sorry, not Allah. They will worship the devils. They will worship the beast empire and the anti-Messiah when he comes, and the image. They're the ones that will take the toxon. They're the ones that will submit their freedom and obey everything that the beast said to do. They're the ones that are going to wander after the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is like this empire? Who is able to make war with him? And even though they're using a masculine pronoun, it is an entity, like it's an entity called an empire, made up of people. All right? It is with great certainty that these heads, or this head, is supposed to be singular, this head will not be a man to be killed and then resurrected, as many believe today. So a lot of Christians are saying, oh yes, it's going to be the Antichrist who's going to be wounded unto death and then he's going to resurrect himself. No, 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 no. Because if the 7 heads represent 7 men, what are the 10 hands the 10 horns representing? The 10 horns are 10 men, 10 leaders that will govern the 10 territories on this earth. So the 7 heads have to be something else. All right? We already have the anti-Messiah rising up after the beast empire. So how many anti-Messiahs will there be? There's only one. There will only be one. The anti-Messiah. Yes, there are many anti-Messiahs. But those are the ones that are coming to prepare the way for this anti-Messiah, who will be king of the empire that is coming. All right? So I have here, no, it will not be a man. The 7 heads are the 7 systems with their crowns. Currently, when the beast empire rises up, the crowns are going to switch to the horns. All right? Where many are already currently governing the world, meaning the systems. Yet we see great development occurring where the remaining heads are taking shape, soon to be fully implemented worldwide. So what has been happening in the last few generations? These systems have always been here. They've been here since the Roman Empire took up their reign on the earth. All right? So what is currently happening is that these heads are being remodeled to be technology based. All right? So not all are ready to roll out just yet. There are just a few left. Okay? And we've looked at that before. Okay? The head system that will be wounded unto death will be severely damaged through war. And this is shown in the scriptures. Let's look at Revelation chapter 13, verse 7. And it was given unto him, meaning the beast empire, to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations, meaning the entire earth will be governed by this empire, except the saints. The power over all nations is showing us that this will be a world dominating empire, and it will also make war with the saints at this point of time. The only people who can be properly labeled as saints will be the righteous remnant of the northern kingdom, as the southern kingdom will be gone from the earth by this time. The 5th seal will be broken by Hamashiach after the regathering of the southern kingdom, and the 5th seal being the time of martyrdom for the northern kingdom. Okay? We're going to look at that later on in another study. It will be at this time the beast empire will rise up to take control over the entire earth. And the second beast, the anti-Messiah, will also rise up to reign as king. So he is going to rise up after the beast empire rises up first. So this Mahdi that is claiming to be here to take the place of the Pope and whoever else, he is not the anti-Messiah. He might be here to help pave the way for the true anti-Messiah, the anti-Messiah, but he is not the anti-Messiah. All right? The northern kingdom at this time will be awakened to their true identity, and they will rise up against these two beasts. Let's look at Daniel chapter 7, verse 20. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spoke very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. So now Daniel is showing that the anti-Messiah will make war against the saints. Now I'm going somewhere with this, okay? The beast empire will make war with the saints. The anti-Messiah will also make war with the saints. So let's drop down to verse 20. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them. And he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. Now we looked at this in the previous study. And he shall speak great words against Yahawah, that's the highest or the most high, and shall wear out the saints of Yahawah. And when we say wear out, meaning he's going to make war against them and prevail against them, and think to change times and laws, and they should be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. So this war between the beast empire, number 7, and the anti-Messiah against the northern kingdom will last 3.5 years. A time and times and the dividing of time. Okay? Let's move on. Daniel chapter 8 verse 24. And his power shall be mighty, and he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper, bring to success, and practice, meaning act with effect, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. So all of this, I'm trying to show you that there will be a war taking place on this earth between these two evil entities and the mighty and holy people of Allah, who will be the northern kingdom, the righteous remnant of the northern kingdom. All right? So if there is a war waged between these two, well, yeah, the two and the one being the people of Allah, the two beasts, then something will happen. Okay? Something will happen to the beast empire. Daniel chapter 11 verse 32. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. And again, we're talking about the anti-Messiah. But the people that do know their Allah shall be strong and do exploits, meaning they're going to do marvelous things against him and his empire. They will be prevailed against, but not that easily, because this war has to last 3.5 years. So they will have some strength. But Al-Hayyam does not want them to win the war. This will be their time of martyrdom. And so he will give them enough strength to bear up under these two entities in order to inflict some sort of damage. That will be their exploits. Verse 33. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many, yet they shall fall by the sword, that's war, and by flame, by captivity, and by spoil many days, 3.5 years. They're going to fall. They're going to be martyred. Even when they capture them, they're going to destroy them. They're not going to keep them in a prison and feed them. No, they're going to destroy them. This beast is out for blood. These two beasts, all they want is the blood of these people. All right? Now when they shall fall, they shall be holpen with a little help. So Al-Hayyam is going to give them enough strength to bear up, even though they are falling by the sword. They're still going to have that desire to keep fighting, because he is going to put it in them to keep fighting, because they know who they're fighting for and they know why they're fighting. And they're not going to sit back and let this devil rule over them. No, they're not. but many shall cleave to them with flatteries. Although many of the northern kingdom brethren will be slaughtered, there will be a remnant who will be saved, as this warfare will last 3.5 years. This war will come to an abrupt halt by the sixth seal being broken by Hamashiach, the great worldwide earthquake. Let's look at Revelation chapter 6, verse 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Allah Hayam and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Yahawah, holy and true, will you not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? So these souls that were slain, lying under or waiting under the altar in the throne room of Allah Hayam Yahawah, will be, or sorry, they're already there, are the martyrs of the southern kingdom. All right? That's who they are. Verse 11. And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that shall be killed as there were should be fulfilled. So this fifth seal is activated by the crying out of the southern kingdom, the martyrs of the southern kingdom. Well, of course, the breaking of the seal, but the southern kingdom martyrs, they're going to cry out. And now we're going to see what is going to happen on the earth. Something is going to happen on the earth. Martyrdom, the martyrdom of the northern kingdom. And this would be the trigger for the beast empire to rise up and the anti-Messiah to rise up. And then they're going to wage war against the people of Allah Hayam. This is that moment. Okay? And notice that they use the word slain, just like those that would fall by the sword. It's all talking about being slaughtered. It has to do with war. Okay? So there's a number that Allah Hayam wants from the northern kingdom. Sorry about that, my telephone. There's a number of martyrs that Allah Hayam wants from the northern kingdom that must be fulfilled. And once those numbers are fulfilled, it will be at the ending of 3.5 years, then the great earthquake will come. All right? Now, the fifth seal will be the permission given by Allah Hayam for the beast empire and the anti-Messiah to rise up. It will also help to further awaken the northern kingdom as to who their true savior and Allah Hayam are. They will notice the atrocities of this beast empire, and many of the northern kingdom will refuse to comply. The result will be a war, a great war that will last 3.5 years. They will fight valiantly as they are Yashwa'al, but they will be prevailed against, but not until they do some serious damage against the beast empire, one of its heads. This war will be fiercely intense, comparative to all the wars that their predecessors have fought combined. Because now this is like a world war. Except now, it is going to be against the northern kingdom and not a country or a combination of countries. It's going to be against the 9.5 tribes of the northern kingdom. But it will be fought worldwide, because remember, this entity is everywhere. So these people, I don't know how the Most High is going to do it. When these people wake up, when the northern kingdom rise up, when they're awakened to their true identity, remember Allah Hayam, he will be able to move his people different places. Read it in the Bible. What happened when Philip, when Rawach HaQadash wanted Philip to go and minister to this eunuch? Did he not move him from point A to point Z? Yes, he did. So these people, and that's why he said that they are going to do exploits and they're going to be strong because they're going to be able to move around in a supernatural way. This is why they're going to have a great effect on against this head, against this beast empire and the anti-Messiah, because they're going to be able to move around without airplanes and cars and buses and what have you. They'll be able to move supernaturally upon the earth. They are not the 144,000. No, this is the northern kingdom. All right? They're going to be hidden. They're going to have the underground place where they're going to congregate. But when it's time to do an exploit, to do a mission, Rawach HaQadash is going to take them there. There are going to be times when they're going to have combat. That's when they're going to fall by the sword. Some will be captive, burnt with flames. But the remnant, Allah Hayam Yahawah is going to keep that remnant safe. So these devils will not be able to wipe them out completely. All right, this is going to be a war that the devils will be scratching their head. How are they able to get from there to there without us knowing? Because remember, they're going to have eyes everywhere. They're going to have eyes everywhere. They have technology running full blast. But because these are the people of Allah Hayam Yahawah, they'll be able to move supernaturally under the radar. And these devils won't even see them coming. And that's why the Gentiles will want to cling to them with flatteries. Hey, we want to be on your side. We recognize that you're doing some serious damage. We want to work with you. All right? But this is not a war for the Gentiles. All right? It's a war for the northern kingdom. Okay, let's move on. As it should be, we are talking about the warriors of Allah Hayam, 9.5 tribes who will be empowered by Allah Hayam to fight. Yes, they're going to fall. Yes, they're going to be prevailed against. This is all part of the plan of Allah Hayam. Yet it will not be a war for them to win, but to prove their faith in Him. This is what it's all about. Remember, they've been living like Gentiles up to this point of time, and now this war is going to force them to make a serious decision. Either they serve Allah Hayam or not. And if they're going to serve Him, then they're going to have to fight. Yes, there will be some that will be fighting who will not serve Allah Hayam. They're going to be sloughed off. All right? They'll be sloughed off. But then there will be many who will believe in Him, who will return to Him. And many will fall. All right? There is one system that will always take a blow when it comes to wars, and that is the economy of a nation. We know that by this time, there will be a one world economical system in place, and the Northern Kingdom will use great strategies given to them from, Alahayam, to hit the beast where it will hurt the most. And it will be the great economy it will promise its citizens. Remember what's happening right now? A lot of the economies around the world, they're folding. They're near collapse because of wars, because of trade wars, conflicts, all kinds of things are affecting economies all around the world. This is the devil's doing because he is formulating a one world economical system because he wants the people to cry out. We need help. We want to get back to when we were our economies were good, where we were living comfortably. Okay? And when the world cries out for this system is already formulating, it will just rise up. And the one thing that could possibly cripple this system, this empire, will be to attack this particular head, the economy. All right? The beast empire will have to funnel all of its resources and reserves into this war. Because look at who they're fighting against. Like I said before, they wouldn't even know where these people are coming from and where they're going to appear next, what they're going to do next. So they're going to funnel all their energies into this war against the Northern Kingdom, which will cause its one world economy to literally collapse and die, and it will die. All right? Just like wars can destroy countries' economies, collapsed economies means eventual death to its countries. And so it will be for this world dominating beast empire. Its collapsed economy threatening to destroy all that he had built up thus far. However, this beast is going to prove itself to be resourceful and resilient, and it will quickly replenish what was lost. In no time, it will be back up and running. But remember, this war is a 3.5-year war. So these people are attacking whatever areas that this beast operates in, all right, to cause the components, the people within this empire to funnel their energy to try to fight against these people, the Northern Kingdom. All right? And that's what's going to cause them to be weakened, their economy to be weakened, and then it will collapse and it will die. All right? Revelation chapter 13, verse 12. And he, the anti-Messiah, exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. So the economy, it collapsed, and then it was resurrected. It was brought back to life. Verse 14. And deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, that's the empire, saying to them, meaning the people on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. So that sword is speaking of war. So it was war that caused the destruction of the economy, the one world economy, but it still lived. All right? Sword is oftentimes symbolic of war in prophecy, and now that we know who all the players are and we understand the symbolisms, now the prophecies are clear to understand. The resilience of the beast empire to recover its economy will fascinate and mesmerize the people on the earth. Those who will intend to join with the northern kingdom to fight will lose heart, as its wounded head's recovery will be marvelous. Nevertheless, this recovery and the glory it will receive from its citizens will be short lived, as Hamashiach will break seal number 6, the great earthquake. That great earthquake will bring an ending to the beast empire number 7 forever. Technology will be done forever. Everything to do with technology will be done, will be finished forever. If you look around at the world today, at countries that are at war, we will see their economies being greatly affected. This too is intentional, as the financial resources are as their financial resources are being wasted intentionally. The wars today are being funded by the same people, the 1% of the richest people in this world, the agents of the Satans. They are funded, all right? And they do not just fund one side of the conflict, but both sides, supplying them with weapons and intelligence to keep the warfare going. And not only do they do that, they're the ones who provoke the wars in the first place. They start the wars and they fueled, that's the word, they fueled the wars by supplying the weapons and everything that they need on both sides. This way, nations become destabilized, which will cause its citizens to cry out for help and be more than willing to accept any advice given by the same people who are causing these conflicts in the first place. Wars are profitable and money cannot be made when nations are at peace. Also, birth rates will go up as nations tend to blossom in numbers when they're at peace. Wars make nations poor and their birth rates will dwindle drastically, as men and women who make up the armies are too busy fighting in wars to make babies, much to the devil's delight. So there's a lot going on at the same time when you see these wars occurring. They're devastating the country and they're also devastating the numbers of the population in that country. All right? People, yes, of course, they're going to be slaughtered in the wars. But what about the birth rates? The rates will go down. We're seeing the development of this beast empire every day now, as more and more technologies are revealed to us. The conflicts will continue until the solution of making the earth into 10 territories is accepted, but people must first cry out for their solution. So even currently doing this recording, there are now countries like India against Pakistan and China against India. All these different countries are rising up against each other because the real purpose of wars and rumors of wars is to divide up this earth into 10 territories, to place a king over each territory, and this will persuade the people that this action will bring peace. All right? So don't expect these wars and rumors of wars to cool down. They're going to escalate and escalate until this action of dividing the earth into 10 territories come into play. This is problem, reaction, solution psychology being used on us. We have to remain vigilant and not be caught up in the drama of the day. It is all a distraction. We are to keep watch and understand the events as they're unfolding, paying careful attention always to the prophecies, which will confirm what is truly going on. We were all raised up for a time such as this, and this is certainly not the time to shrink back and become fearful. All the wars and the rumors of wars that you're witnessing today are just the beginning. The wars already started will not come to an end, but they will climax with more wars and more conflicts coming into play. Nations will take sides, threatening nuclear war or World War III, which neither will never happen. There are only two more major worldwide wars due to come, not including the war between the Northern Kingdom and the two beasts. And these two major wars that are coming will be the War of Armageddon and the War of Gog and Magog. In the meanwhile, these skirmishes and threats will continue on. People, on the other hand, will become worn out emotionally, as this is the evil plan to provoke them to cry out to the leaders of their countries for a solution. Since the regathering of the southern kingdom, the world will continue to make drastic changes and quickly until Hamashiach comes again to reign as Malak, to reign as king. And until then, those of Allah Hayam, whether the northern kingdom or Gentiles, need to hold on to their faith like never before. Otherwise, they will be consumed by the devils and their evil forces. So let's look at 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. We are told to be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walks about seeking whom he may devour. So we are to keep watch. All right. And this is what is coming down the pike. The great war between the Northern Kingdom and the Beast Empire and its king, the anti-Messiah, will destroy the economy on the earth. That is one of the 7 heads. But it will not be uh, out of practice. It would not be out for very long. Trying to find the right word. It would not be gone for very long, because this beast will show its resilience by bringing it back to life, so to speak. And this will cause the people on the earth to be more mesmerized than ever. Okay? So that head to be wounded will be the economy. Just look and see what's happening right now. Okay? A war to come, that major war between the Northern Kingdom and the Beast Empire and the anti-Messiah, will cause economical collapse. All right? So that's the ending of this particular study. This is part 5. And we will conclude with the blessing for Yashwa'al, taken from Baal Madabar, chapter 6, verses 24 to 26. That's Numbers chapter 6, verses 24 to 26. Yabarakak Yahawah, Wayah Shamarak. May Yahawah bless you and keep you. Ya'ar Yahawah Panayo Alayak Wayachanak. May Yahawah cause his face to shine upon you and have favor upon you. Ya'ar Yahawah Panayo, Yasha'a Yahawah Panayo Alayak Wayashamlak Shalawam. May Yahawah lift up his face upon you and give you peace. And now we are going to recite the command that we were instructed to recite. We were commanded to recite when we lie down, when we get up, when we go out, and when we come in, taken from the Barayam chapter 6 verses 4 and 5. That's Deuteronomy chapter 6 verses 4 and 5. Shama o Yashwa'al, Yahawah Allah Hayana, Yahawah Achad, wa Ahabath Af, Yahawah Allah Hayak, Bakal Babak, wa Bakal Nabashat, wa Bakal Ma'adak. Hear, O Yashwa'al, Yahawah our Allah Hayam is one Yahawah, and you shall love Yahawah your Allah Hayam with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. And with that I will say, Shalawam, Shalawam, all praises to the Most High, Abba Yah.